Good evening, friends. So we begin our last session, which is on right to education. Right to Education Act is a very pioneer, or you can say unique, or you can say brahmastra for the government in this decade. It has changed many paradigms or assumptions on which education policies were really being framed so far. So far, over the ages, centuries, education was considered for exclusivity, for exclusive group. It was not considered for all. It is for the first time that right to education changed that paradigm, that education is not for few or for selected few, it is for all. With that, another paradigm which was challenged was that it is not the duty of the demand side. If a parent or child is not demanding, that doesn't mean that I am free not to provide them education. It has put the onus or the responsibility on the supplier side. So, as educational functionaries, our role has become all the more difficult because now it is the supplier of education who has to ensure that every child gets education. It's a very different paradigm on which we have taken a curve, and maybe with that we expect our country to develop and achieve what we have lost over the ages, and may achieve the glorified past for which we were known since ages in the Vedic era. So education has to reach each nook and corner and has to reach of a particular quality so that the entire platform is raised, not few plateaus are raised. With that background on right to education, let's hear our eminent speakers. I invite Ms. Sangeeta Sood, Principal, JJ Public School, Indore.
A very good evening to the Honorable Session Chair, Dr. Gupta, and to the august gathering here. Our ancient scripture says, Mata Shatru Pita Veri Yen Balo Na Pathita Na Shobhate Sabha Madhye Hans Madhye Vakoyatha. The gist of this shlok is that those parents who don't provide basic education to their children are like the enemies for them. So our very scripture also emphasizes on the fact that it is the prime responsibility of the parents to provide the basic education to the children. In no other written scripture in any other part of the world, in any other country would we have such a mention as we have in our country. But still see the irony, it is not the parents in our country but the government who has become responsible to provide the basic education to the children. The reasons are very obvious and we all know them: poverty and ignorance. These two had been the main reasons which had made the parents or the children rather deprived from getting the basic education. Thankfully, after 66 years of our independence in 2009, our Indian government has awakened to the fact that the basic education should be provided to the children. And in April 2010, the Act RTE came into force. Well, the RTE implements that all the children belonging to any category of the society, especially the downtrodden ones, should be given the opportunity to get education. But the condition is something else. This is the condition of children in our country. We, as human beings and as educationists, wholeheartedly support the RTE. Then the question arises, where is the problem? Well, it is not the RTE, but it is the section Article 21A in Constitution, which is a bone in the throat. वो खार खार है शाखे गुलाब की मानिंद, वो खार खार है शाखे गुलाब की मानिंद, और मैं जख्म जख्म हूँ फिर भी गले लगाऊं इसे. This is the condition of the private schools. We want to adopt, we want to give admission, but the problem lies in the implementation of 21A of the Constitution. Now, this is the condition of the literacy rate we all know since 1951 to 2011. And what has been done, this also we know journey so far has been from 18.33 to in 1951 to 74.04 in 2011. Status of MP is very horrible. It's one of the MP is one of the most backward states in literacy rate. It's only 70.6% so far. We all want to adopt, but our grievances are many and very obvious. First of all, the thing is, we would like to know whether it is really the deprived one who are getting admissions in RTE. See, if we think about the schools, the private or the public schools are situated mostly in the cities or in the towns. And the actual deprived or the backward community or the people whom we consider to be are not so backward or are not so deprived and are not so unaware of the basic things. The main problem is that still they are being given admission, although they have many resources of earning as well as many means which can inform them about the education. What is required is that this education should rather be provided to the children residing in the remotest corner of the country. You see, here is a picture of a place. There's a village Tillor Khurd, just 25 kilometers away from Indore. And there's a picture of a place named Futa Talab, which is just 3 kilometers away from Tillor Khurd village. Our school students happen to be there in a 10 days NSS camp. They are residing in Tillor Khurd and they went there. There they found, to their shock and dismay, that the children are totally, and even the people, the residents of that place are totally deprived of the basic amenities. The nearest Anganwadi is around 1.5 kilometers away from Futa Talab, and the nearest school is 3 kilometers away in Tillor Khurd. So, where is the basic education? Where is RTE? Secondly, what will happen to those children after 8 years of schooling? Under RTE, from the age of 6 to 14, the children are supposed to be given the basic education. The problem is, what will they do? Will they get the job after passing class 8? Just now in the vocational education session, Dr. Veera informed us that children are not supposed to get any vocational education up to standard 8. It is only going to start from standard 9. So if the children basically are going to be provided basic education under the RTE for 8 years, then after passing class 8, as such we consider, what will the children do? Will they get will they get any job? Will they be able to get any job? How will they be able to earn the livelihood? Or where would their future be? Or should we assume that in private schools at least we are going to give admission to the children till standard 12th? We are going to teach them till standard 12th. Thirdly, there is a huge gap between social status of the children coming from RT category and others. The deprived lots doesn't get the adequate family atmosphere and the background support or exposure at home unlike others. This is a known fact. Lastly, the economic background. Just giving admission and providing fee is not sufficient. How can the wide gap between the economic status be bridged? RT children can't afford the type of luxuries which their counterpart have in the schools. The result could be very drastic. Such children may either adopt unfair means or develop inferiority complexes or even negative aspect, and no need to say that they can even be unduly revengeful. I hope you do understand what I actually mean by this. Now, our suggestions, I would like, this is entirely my thinking, and I don't know whether you would agree to this or not, but I thought this is the forum where I can present my views. See, we all know there are 4 categories of schools: government schools, government aided schools, specified category schools like Kendriya Vidyalayas, Navodaya Vidyalayas, army schools, etc. And the 4th category of the schools are the privately owned schools. What I feel is that the government should restrict the admission to the students in RT category only to the first 3 categories of schools. And such category of schools should be open to the remotest areas of the country and should be run in 2-3 shifts to provide more jobs to the people as well as to avail maximum benefit of the available resources. And giving admission to the children in the first 3 categories of school would be okay. What could be the responsibility of the private schools? What I feel is that let the private schools falling in the vicinity be asked to facilitate such type of schools in every possible manner. My last suggestion is, I don't know how many of you would like this suddenly came into my mind, that let every child coming in standard 8 be given a 5-year project of teaching one child of standard 1. Initially, when a child is in class 8, let him start teaching a child of standard 1. By the time the child passes class 12, I would call this child a student teacher. So by the time the student teacher passes class 12, he would either be able to provide education to a child for 5 years, that is the primary education could be given, or if the child is transferred, if the parent is transferred, if the child has to change the school, in that case the child can have another project in another school or in another town. And let the child be assessed on the basis of the taught. Let the student teacher be assessed on the basis of the child whom he or she has taught. So I suppose this could be a live project rather, and the students will also be quite interested in this. CBSE has already come with a number of projects, but if this project is given, then the children will be more interested. This is my feeling. Because if I am given a live project, I'll of course be more interested than in just written work or going errands and collecting the data, etc. and etc. If a live project is given, I will of course be more interested. So this is my feeling. So then only I suppose the very thing of each one, teach one would also be accomplished in the right manner. So this is how I reach to the end. I would just ask you people, आओ सब मिलकर हाथ से हाथ मिलाएं, हकीकत की धरती पर पांव जमाएं. आओ हम सब मिलकर हाथ से हाथ मिलाएं, हकीकत की धरती पर पांव जमाएं और एक सपने को सरकार ने देखा है सपना, और उस सपने को उसके अंजाम तक पहुंचाएं. जय हिंद. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Sangeeta ji. May I now call upon Madam Ruchira Ghosh, Head Business Development School, British Council Division.
Good evening again, all of you. I don't know whether I should feel very happy when I'm the last presenter, and I am. You can feel happy, of course. But I don't know whether I should feel happy because I can pinch a lot of ideas from what people have said already. And otherwise, I don't know whether I should feel miserable that I'm the only one standing in between your freedom from this room and your time here. Okay, we're ready. So basically, I think I'm feeling privileged in a way. I hope I'm able to actually summarize whatever you've been doing since this morning today. I'm sorry I couldn't join you in the morning. And I hope I also hope whatever I'll present in the 10 minutes now is able to capture the principles of some of the things that you've been hearing since the morning. And in some way I'm able to bring in few aspects of what I've been listening to since the time I've been here. I listened to something about assessment, something about new strategies, reflective learner in classroom, teachers having a different role, something about RTE right now. As an organization, we completely believe that we would like to work in close association with governments as well as private school sector. But of course, I'll promise two things to you as part of my session. One is I'm not going to do a lot of talking through my session, so you will have a chance to experience something else as well. Second thing is I will try and associate some of the things with whatever you've heard already. So let's see if I can make that happen. And I think I heard Michael say that the first principle that we should use in a class is to let the students... Okay, I don't like this. We have 5 minutes, but I think I will take 10 minutes if you don't mind, because I've got 2 videos that will take about 5-6 minutes. Is it okay if I take 10 minutes? Is it okay with everyone? Can I do that with your permission, Mrs. Gupta? Oh, there is. Okay, fine. What I was just going to say is that Michael mentioned that we should allow the students to know about the outcomes that they are expected to learn in a lesson so that they are not completely surprised by what's happening. And I'm sure the fact that there is a British Council session suddenly in the middle of school sessions and all that might have caught you by surprise. So just to quickly share the intended outcomes for my session, I hope that during the course of the presentation, you will be able to reflect on the connections between classroom transaction, student engagement, and whole school development, because that was the idea with which I came. I thought I could share what we do through our organization for whole school development. Get a peek into how British Council engages with schools for whole school development, specifically through a program called International School Award. Now, I'm not doing a marketing spiel for International School Award here, so I'm just going to leave you with some thoughts about it, and I hope I'll be able to meet a lot of you in future as a collective schools team, some kind of a meeting where we can come back again to Madhya Pradesh. And finally, I hope you will feel inspired by an idea or a quote or an experience or an aspect of our work that I shared through this presentation. Now, just to give you the bigger picture of our organization, I don't know how many of you are familiar with British Council. Just put your hands up if you are. Oh, quite a few of you are. And can I quickly ask you, what do you associate with British Council? Sorry? Okay, recruit students for UK universities. Anything else? Oh, we really need to meet at some point in time. You need to know a lot more about British Council. Well, we are a cultural relations organization, and our recruitment of students is part of the cultural relations agenda as well. We have presence in over 100 countries. We work in mutually beneficial partnerships with institutions and systems. We share UK's expertise and experience to create opportunities for people worldwide. And our core business areas are arts, education and I'm not sure whether you can read it clearly, but arts, education and society and English. And I'm part of education and society team. Our school's work fits within education and society work. Well, I asked you, what do you know about the British Council? And all I heard was recruiting students. So there are a whole lot of other things that we do. Again, for paucity of time, I'm not going to talk through these things, but hopefully we can chat later or we'll get to meet again later. Just to tell you briefly about Connecting Classrooms, an International School Award is part of Connecting Classrooms. It's a global education program which is offered in India jointly by the British Council and UK Aid. UK Aid is part of Department for International Development in UK that funds SSA and RMSA program in India. We support teachers and school leaders by working directly with them in over 50 countries through Connecting Classrooms. And the main aim of Connecting Classrooms is to create enriching experiences and develop young people's skills in global citizenship and other curriculum areas. And this is our director in West India, Sam Harvey. We just had a school award ceremony in Mumbai very recently, so I just picked up a picture from there. Now there are 4 strands of Connecting Classroom. We start with policy level engagement. We have school leadership and International School Award as part of the second strand. We do a lot of teachers' professional development and school-to-school partnerships for Indian and UK schools. And we have grants available under school partnerships for teachers' reciprocal visits. Now just to also tell you about International School Award, since I'm talking about it, these are the 2 aims of our program, like I said, developing global dimension and enriching teaching and learning through new practices. So what the International School Award does is actually provide a global benchmarking project that recognizes schools for their outstanding work in these areas. So it's really global standards which have been developed keeping in mind how global dimension can be integrated within the curriculum. And it provides framework for planning, implementing, documenting and monitoring international work in school. Again, I'm sorry, these are a little loaded statements right now. I wish I had more time to talk through this, but I will still just kind of keep going forward and definitely hope to see you again at another time. The project encourages whole school and community involvement, and that was the reason I was able to connect it with RTE's idea of whole school development, quality improvement. Now, this is the most interesting part, hopefully, and I'll just take you through why we talk about the International School Award, or why is British Council delivering International School Award for schools. It's not about international curriculum or just IGCSE, etc., etc. It's not about creating elitism. It is actually about delivering global dimension standards in schools. Now, a very interesting phenomena is taking place in the world of young people, and I'm sure all of you will be able to relate to this video. Now, there are 2 things which you should keep in mind when you're watching this video. One thing is that the experience here is from a school in UK, So don't get alarmed because this is going to happen in your school very soon if it's not happening yet. Second thing is that you'll see a lot of digital gadgets out here in this video. Again, don't get alarmed. How many of you are using smartphones today? Android phones, smartphones? A lot of people, right? Did you have to spend a number of years to begin using them? No, you didn't have to. So when I show you this video, I'm sure you're not going to be as surprised as I would have presumed that you would be. All right. So that's where I stopped talking. Lights, थोड़ी बंद कर सकते हैं? Lights. I realize that we're not very lucky with technology. So, I'm sure you were able to get the idea from this video, what we really wanted to communicate. I'm not going to take you through the second video because I understand we have shortage of time, which is basically about the role of the teacher in the 21st century learning kind of an environment. So if you're really interested and this video has caught your attention, please do invite us back to Madhya Pradesh and we'll come and have a day's workshop where we can tell you a little bit more about the kind of work that we do with schools to bring about this whole idea of global citizenship, look at new tools in which we can make teaching and learning more effective. So I think I'm going to leave you with a few thoughts. Basically a project like the International School Award, it encourages creativity because that's the way the program has been designed to rest within your curriculum. And again, it will not make too much of sense unless you go through the workings of the program yourself. The second thing is that this kind of a project really allows for teachers to practice some of the skills that we are talking about for 21st century learning. We keep saying that skills for 21st century learning, the children are going to learn those skills any which way, with or without the teacher. It's the teacher that has to really learn those skills to match pace with students these days. And that's what the program helps to do. And finally, it also enables schools to link up. We heard Mrs. Manuja talk about creating bonds of friendship. And as part of our work, we also create these friendships and learning partnerships between schools in India and the UK. And that's another area of our work. And through the International School Award, the schools have an opportunity to experience that kind of international collaboration as well. So that's just about it. I think I'll leave you with a few websites. And there are very few people here, so I can give you my visiting card. I really hope to hear from some of you, most of you, and hopefully we can meet again. That's it from the British Council. Thank you so much for providing us this platform today.
Thank you, Ruchira. It was really interesting to know how British Council is working in the school sector and what our schools can do and get international award as well. Now may I invite Madam Suchitra Dutta, Principal, Maharashi Center for Educational Excellence, Bhopal.
Good evening to all the delegates present here. Relax everybody. I'm the last speaker. So from last 5 hours, we are just listening. And my topic was given RTE. This topic was taken over by all the sessions, means every session has touched this. So already we know a lot. We have heard of, and discussed. I wish Mrs. Sami could have been here, because whatever I am taking these points here, main of the RTE, what it is all about, because maximum we know, so short, very quickly we go through, and the implications, because we are the where we are providing all this education and we are facing problems and challenges. The first introductory part says, the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act, which came into being in 2010, but in schools probably because by April we have finished our admission time, and mainly from 2011 we have taken children. This new entitles every child in the age group of 6 to 14 to give elementary education in their neighborhood. The government has brought this act Not only in, especially because the government has given roped in all the private schools. And therefore its implications directly benefit the 1 crore children who don't go to schools at present. The main point I emphasize here, the cost that prevents a child from accessing school will be borne by the very, see to it very carefully, the state government is going to borne, which shall have the responsibility of enrolling the child as well as ensuring attendance and completion of 8 years of schooling. How will it be possible? Suppose the child has taken admission in first standard and drops out somewhere in class 4, 5, anywhere. Who is going to be after them? Who is going to ensure that these children come to school? And mainly, you know, the area or the children we are taking from where the parents or they are the first generation learner. Parents, they think children should start earning from 7th standard, because or whatever. But they should earn something. Obviously, once they are coming to a school, they are not actually taking all that advantage, that they are not earning member, but they will have to send to the school, and therefore it would be a great concern for all of us to make them continue for 8 years of schooling. No child shall be denied admission for want of documents. No child shall be turned away if the admission cycle in the school is over, and no child shall be asked to take an admission test. As my previous speaker also said, no admission test. It is depending upon the age. So the child who is 10 years of age to be given admission in class 5, who has never even picked up or knows how to hold a pen. So how do we take them, these children in class 5, 9 months time given, where the teachers are having extra time to guide or to make them, bring them up to class 4 years, which we are giving in 4 years. That education, how do we give in 9 months or 8 months? It's so difficult, so challenging one. Now, implementation. All private schools were roped in, and they shall be required to enroll children from weaker section, disadvantaged communities in their incoming class in extent of 25% of their enrollment by simple random selection. Suppose in one class, a school is having 100 children, that means 25 children to be taken. So maximum schools have not done that 75, they are taking and 25, these RTE. They are mainly what they are doing, 100 children plus 25. So 125 students. So from where the infrastructure and other things will come? The Act also provides that no child shall be held back, expelled, or required to pass a board examination until the completion of elementary education. No seats in this quota can be left vacant. That means we have to. Really, it is not that we all welcome this act which has the government is bringing in, but there are a number of loopholes. There are to be lot of things to be given thought to. Because when I was today, I didn't get the opportunity, but I had a word with Mrs. Sami who was here, and really she also understood that yes, many things had to be addressed, like we'll have to see to it. All school which does not fulfill these standards within next 3 years will not to be allowed to function, and government is very strict about it. Financial burden will be shared between state and the central government. In Bhopal and especially in Madhya Pradesh, they have worked out to 2006 rupees per child. That means 200 rupees almost per month. The challenges ahead, main comes a financial challenge. Who is going to pay for? Because 2,000 rupees per month, you can imagine for the private schools, when we need good teachers, more teachers, infrastructure, and everything, whatever we give to our own children. Challenge to find qualified teachers, challenge to promote infrastructure, challenge to provide quality education, because we'll have to give them quality education. As I said before, they are the first generation learner. Whatever we do, whatever we are writing in the diaries, whatever we expect from our parents, Nothing is going to be addressed because we are not going to support from how we are going to do it. Challenge to enforce 25% quota for weaker section. And here another point comes, that is a barrier for orphans, because they are saying no need to ask for the documents. And obviously when the orphans come, there is no documents with them. How do we go with? Responsibility for state government under RTE Act, as it was already said, so I'm not going to elaborate it because these are the main points, the infrastructure and other things which already other people have already spoken. My say here is, because a lot of criticism is also going on, and here the important one is that the quality of education provided by the government system remains a question. Government is also having their 80%, mainly the data for Madhya Pradesh given by Dr. Ahmed, and that was really very well said that the 80% schools are of the primary sectors, the primary schools are there. But the government should have taken opportunity to develop the standard of those schools. Instead, they are simply putting it to the private schools, and all those schools means 1,24,000 school, whatever they are having, they are not thinking of their standard to raise. I am talking here about the public-private partnership. In order to address these quality issues, the Act has provision to compensate private schools for admission of children under 25% quota, which has been prepared to school vouchers, thereby parents may send their children in any school, private or public. Corporate partnership with private sector is usually seen in the source of funding only by infrastructure development to meet shortage of teachers. The private sector can be encouraged, sign PPP and state-owned municipal schools. The government can reimburse corporate organization cost of running these schools. That way we can definitely go through and we can face all these problems. Because, the people are, if we talk to the government, they are not listening to, but here I am bringing this captions, the paper cuttings, because it has appeared a day just on Sunday, Daily Times of India Saturday issue. Convince schools to move education department for reimbursement. For last 2 years, we all are giving, and about 4,500 students were given, not a single penny given by the government. Lot of other activities are there, and she says that already we have dispersed, but no one, in Bhopal especially, we didn't get any amount from anywhere. So the machinery already, it is 2 years over. So now 2013, 14, 15, how many years will go on, and how do we go to get this money? Why should we waste our time with this? They should have some concrete policy or system from where this reimbursement can be made. Main concern raised in RTE implementation, the lack of awareness for the community level. Although these has been some improvement in the student access, but the large amount of students is still out of schooling because of, I told you that maximum parents, they feel that they should earn, and therefore they are not, still they are not bringing to their schools. There is limited focus on quality aspects. The norms largely relate to input requirement for schools and not to outcome. That means the children, those who were given admission, after 8 years when they are coming out, do they know the proper calculation in mathematics or the language? No one is concerned. So it is a micro level evaluation, or the education system, they should see how the monitoring also is required, because once they are coming out after 8 years and they do not know anything, and we cannot detain them, will have to pass. So has no meaning. They will not be getting any job, anything they cannot do even after giving their 8 years. There is there is an inadequate number of trained teachers who are equipped to provide quality education. That teachers problem exists everywhere, whether it is the government schools or the private. Even in our schools also we do face teachers. Teachers and the trained teachers is really a great crisis. A very important point, because this point was taken by my own experience, authentication of genuine BPL card holder. because they're the BPL card holder with them coming, and very genuine card shown, has taken registration done, and when he went, I was informed that the gentleman has come in his Maruti Alto. So what is meaning of BPL card, and actually who are getting benefit of this act, who is going to, this is, who is going to see to it? Because our work is to see the card or authentic their documents what they are giving. We cannot go inside. So how, from where they are getting this, and how these people are coming and asking for the admissions. The final, another thing is private schools not having the classes, private schools not having primary classes, what they are going to, from where they will get these students. Are they exempted? Because that has not been, I just read out everything, it has not been answered anywhere. There are many schools, those who start from class 5 onwards. So from where? They are exempted? If they are coming from class, they are starting their school from class 5, then what? Because we are not giving his admission because they are not having class 1 there. The academic standard and the benchmark in private schools are set very high. These children, this already Sangeeta madam has said, they are not going to cope up with the curriculum, and lot of negativity will come in. And definitely they will do some wrong deeds, and we'll have to go with that. Their English being the medium of instruction in most of the private schools, another problem. And first generation learner, no one is going to help them out, and how they are going to cope up with. The social and psychological impact on children from economically poorer section adjusting in private schools. Will a student covered under the Act be able to afford the secondary education provided in the same private school? No. After 8th standard, where they are going to go? Means that definitely they are not having way out, where to go. And even before 8th, I believe, because it is very early to say, we are only having 2 years have gone, and we never know that after 8 years what going to be. So, but definitely we can think of, because of seeing these children, how they are coming and what their parents are, that they may not complete their 8 years too, and they may drop out. The conclusion comes now that the grassroots level realization of the intent of the historic, this we all welcome, we are ready to, but government has to think, and the country, but definitely the students, the children are our asset, we have to nurture them, but government has to be very firm with the very specific their ideas, their implementation, and their, means everything has to be given very systematic lineup, so that we, stakeholders, we can go with that. We are having number of questions, so that is not the way by which we can get all the good benefits what the government thinking of. Thank you very much.
It was certainly very interesting talk, and all the sessions have been very, very enriching. But since we are in a rented accommodation and we have to vacate the hall at a certain time, so we have to wind up the session. But certainly today's day has been a very fruitful day, because we discussed all the latest policies of the government related to vocationalization, RTE, and inclusive education. So I think it will have a very good impact on ourselves, and we will know where we are going right, what we are doing wrong. There are many confusions still, which certainly when we discuss with peers outside, maybe we will clarify if we are having doubt. Thank you very much to participate in this session.